begin with the conversation. It's supposed to be very informal here. I'd just like to briefly explain the project that we are doing. I was approached by Dewan Bahasa to do a book on tokoh-tokoh architect. And so they asked me for a list, and I gave them people like Kasturi, Tajuddin, Daud Baharudin Kasim, and they said that, Prof, boleh tak buat buku pasal mereka? So I said, okay. But then I'm going to do it in a slightly different way, and that is to have this conversation series. The reason being is that many of the first and second generation architects have some writing, but maybe because of their time limitation, they don't have that, and so it's a pity that much of their thoughts will be lost if we do not have this kind of interview or conversation session. And this is part of knowledge management, which is very important. So there is going to be a series of 6 conversations. Some of it will be held here. Some I was thinking maybe at Dewan Bahasa, because I thought you also had some dealings with Dewan Bahasa because of the early times, and maybe some with Pam, if permission from Daud. Some issues with Pam, but some of the conversations later on also I will be writing up for Majalah Architect. I told the president, and he was very happy about it. If there are some significant things that Daud has said with his agreement, perhaps I will also write for the news media in relation to some thoughts. So today will be the first of the series, and we will be talking about education, creativity in education. And just to remind the panelists, so before that, this is Dr. Norhayati Hussein from Panelist University, and also, you know, Madam Norizan. They will be helping me with talking to hijjas about this experience. So the most important is this recording. I don't think we'll be taking any questions from the audience, but here you'll be actually listening to an archive of history. Okay, we call it a walking archive. When I talk to Dr. Hijjas, if it's not 1 hour, don't talk to him, you know, something like that. Okay, so, and 75, 76, yeah, still very strong, and I'm very amazed at that. So the way that we play this session is that I will ask the prepared questions. This is the general. There are 8 that I have prepared. And so when Daud has finished talking, then I will ask the panelists to jump in. Any additional questions that they might want to clarify. And remember, panelists, this is not a debate. We're not here to argue against these ideas, just to understand them. Okay. All right. So everybody on. This camera is on. I hope it's on already. Yeah. Okay. Okay. So Daud, kita boleh mula?
Yes.
Okay. All right. So just to start the ball rolling, the first question is just to ask about background. See, can you briefly explain your education background before you became an architect? And can you explain your roles as an educator at a public educational institution? Many of us know Dr. Hijjas as an architect, but he has major roles that has been played in education at UITM, and just recently I found out UTM. Lastly, what would you say to be your best and most important contributions are to education? So, can you begin?
Well, first of all, thank you for inviting me. I think he's right, not only that I don't have time to write, but I don't know how to write. I mean, he is very good at that. I've been following his work and writes and so on. So in that way, my writing is my work. That's what I always say to people. Now, we are all product of our time. What parentage you come from, what country, the place, and the time. And the most important thing is, of course, the situation, political situation of the country. It all have a bearing in your early life and throughout the rest of your life, especially the impressionable childhood that you have. So let me start in a way. I was born in Singapore of Malaysian parents. My father came from Sungai Lembing, Pahang. And during that time, everybody notwithstanding what races they are, they all go to Singapore to find some work or fortune. There he met my mother, who is a Chinese adopted by Indonesian. And my grandparent is what we call batik king. He always fly from Pekalongan, Central Java, to Singapore. Singapore is an entrepot. The whole of archipelago of Malaysia or Malaya will go to Singapore. That's where they're trading, and it's an exciting place. I can remember some of them, and it's really an entrepot in that manner. There he met my mother, and the whole thing's where I was born. That's how I look like a Chinese. Sometimes we have a joke, I was coined as OCBC. You know what OCBC? Some of you know. Orang Cina bukan Cina. That's a good yes. It's interesting, it is, because parentage means a lot of things. Because I'm a Malay in a way, therefore religion is Islam. And the focus at that time is to go to the Malay school. And one of the best Malay school in Singapore is called Kota Raja Malay School, the school at that time. And we have another friend of mine who is artist, one of the greatest artists, and that's from Kota Raja. And what happened then is only it's lasted 1 year. Important thing during that time is my father taught me how to draw. Very simple drawing. This is at the age of 5, 6. To draw. Apart from ABC that I got to draw over and over again, tracing it and so on. That's it. When you look back, it is draftsmanship, letter writing, which is terrific because at that time we had line, 3 lines, capital A, and all that got to be precise. Which is in a way help you in the future. But at the time you did not know. And to draw a cat. To draw a cat is very simple, but today I can remember. It's 2 0, one big zero, one big zero is the body. You put a tail and 2 ears, and that's it. Very simple for 5, 6 years old. And then after that I start copying. All the time is copying. That's part of that art, education in that. But it doesn't last as long in that school because the Japanese came over during the Japanese occupation, and I was thrown in to go to the Singapore Japanese school. So I studied Japanese, and I was good at it. I was told during that time. How I don't know. And I nearly been sent to Tokyo, but luckily it didn't. My father, our parents escaped from Singapore and ran to Sumatra, a place called Sungai Mambay. Because I have an elder sister, about 13, 14 years old, and we all afraid of them with the Japanese incursion in Singapore. So we went on to, with no education over there, but it's a different story altogether. When you are like Tom Sawyer, story of Tom Sawyer, you do all kind of truncating, like a childhood, but fantastic in that time. And after the war, Singapore been liberated, you came back. And that's how the education started, the real education. Of course, then I have no way to go. I went to go what you call Agama school, and forced in a way. But it doesn't last long. We went to, then my father sent me to Royal English School. There's only one school before to study. To get into school was very difficult, especially after the war. Completely difficult to get in. As I say, it's time, place, and so on play important roles. Fortunately, one new school, they call it Tanjung Ru Boys School, just started. And I just got in just in time. My age was just there to get in. Because during that time, if you're overage, you cannot go to school. They won't accept you. So I did my primary school at Singapore Tanjung Ru Boys School, and that's afternoon school, not morning either. In Singapore, there's a system more or less like Malaysia at that time. I think the best students got into Victoria institution, I think. In Singapore, it's like that. To get there is very difficult. Again, I was just enough credit to go to be picked up. Only one student in my class or my school got into